Welcome to UND Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dan Hammer. On tonight's show, Shelby Amsley-Benzie becomes the winningest goaltender in North Dakota women's hockey history. She helps North Dakota to a sweep of Bemidji State. We'll hear from head coach Brian Adolski and Amsley-Benzie later in the show. Men's basketball coach Brian Jones joins us. And our leadoff man tonight is women's basketball coach Travis Brewster. His team sweeping Idaho and Eastern Washington over the weekend. Moved to 5-2 in the Big Sky, extending its winning streak to 3 games and moving into third place in the conference. Coach, good to be back with you again. Your overall impressions on the weekend as a whole?
Well, I thought for the weekend we played some good basketball. 2 different styles of play. I thought we adjusted very well, and I thought we executed for us. I really did. I thought we did some things key at the right time.
Well, you talk about the styles of play. Very different. Thursday night, more of a low-scoring defensive game. Saturday's game was more wide open.
Well, you look at Idaho, how they defend. They want to slow you down a little bit. They want to make their shots, and I thought we defended them fairly well.
Yep.
And you limited their opportunities. And then you turn around and play Eastern Washington, who's a very, very physical defensive team. They do a good job on the defensive end and just change the game.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights here. Thursday night's match against Idaho, billed as the top 2 rebounding teams in the Big Sky. You're number 1, Idaho number 2, are right about there in the numbers overall. And Maya Lloyd, consistent this weekend. On Monday, she was named the Co-Big Sky Player of the Week. Again, Another honor for Maya.
Oh, it's a great, tremendous honor for all her hard work, and I really like how she's playing right now, being very tenacious on both ends of the floor.
What did you think of your overall start in the first half here against Idaho?
I thought it was pretty solid. I thought we moved the ball fairly well, getting the ball to people and key opportunities to score, but defensively was the key note for us, and I just liked how we got going. We were all playing for each other, and there was a lot of excitement.
3-pointers kept Idaho in this game in the first half.
Yeah, that's one of their things they do well. I thought we keyed well on bar, but at the same time, Salvatore keeps knocking down jump shots, and we talked about at halftime make that adjustment.
You struggled a bit from behind the three-point line yourself in the first half. Michaela Dyer hits the 3 here, and it's your first after missing your first 10 chances.
Yeah, and we talked about that as well during the timeout and halftime. That we kind of got away from what we do. We want to utilize that shot a little bit more later in the shot clock, and I thought we executed better.
7-0 run late in the first half here for you.
Well, Emily Evers, get the ball in her hands. She can do some things, and she's got to make herself available down there. Right now, people are gearing things to stop her, and credit our team for putting the ball in the right spot for her, but she was working.
27-26 at the half. Second half, Idaho has the first jump. Allie Ford scores 9 quick points for Idaho.
Yeah, again, though, we got to come out and be ready to go on the defensive end. We talked about it, and it happens.
Yeah, Leah Zabla, though, really took this game over in the second half on the offensive end of the court.
She's just getting better and better. Only a sophomore. We drew up a play. We ran it 4 times in a row, to be quite truthful.
Really?
Yep, and we said, Leah, you make the reads and go from there. And she did it. She put the ball in her hands. She knocked down shots, got the ball to key people. And you know what? She's at her best when she can get up and down the floor, and she's got somebody running with her, such as Maya Lloyd. So, it's exciting to have her playing that way.
Zabla scoring 14 of her 16 in the second half. Lloyd's basket put you up for good. Talk about your defense in the second half.
Well, again, you got players that are starting to play on both ends of the floor. They're hustling. You see Megan Lauk with a good block right there. Maya Lloyd's improved her defense. I really think we're coming along on that end, and we got to keep progressive. We're going to have an opportunity.
You held Stacy Barr, the Big Sky's leading scorer, to 5 points, 15 below her average, and then Emily Evers goes on her personal 5-0 run with about 4 minutes left here to create some separation.
I kind of challenged her a little bit on the bench to go ahead and knock down some shots, and kind of own the floor a little bit with her size and strength, and she did it. She's a crafty player, and she's got good size.
68-62 the final, and again, defensively in the second half, and what you did against Barra, real key to this win, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. You saw us getting close on her on the touches for her, then you also saw us just making it a little bit tougher on her. And just in general, I think that was a big key.
All righty, fast forward to Eastern Washington. Let's take a look at the highlight here from Saturday afternoon. And first half, you really set the tone by getting a lot of layups, a lot of points in the paint here early.
Well, that's a carryover from Thursday night, just trying to get the ball in the key spots. And we talked about, hey, it's not going to be easy, but we need to make sure that we just attack the rim.
Michaela Dyer and Maya Lloyd combined in the first half, 10 of 14 from the field and 21 points combined.
Well, Michaela's been pretty steady.
She's been
steady all year. She's kind of flying underneath the radar for us a little bit. She's a pretty good passer, obviously, you see there, but she can score. One of the big challenges for her is play defense, but now she's really kind of catching the flow. And again, I think we're at our best when we push tempo a little bit.
Really distributed the ball well in this game, didn't you?
Yeah, we did a very good job of playing for each other and moving the basketball. They double teamed there. You see as we kick opposite, take the easy jumpers that we can make. And when we play that way, it's fun. It's fun for the ladies to play that way. It's fun to watch.
Kelsey Knox, one of 6 players in double figures. Second half now, you start pulling away here. You build your lead eventually to 17 in the second half.
Well, again, you got players stepping up like Kelsey Knox. You got Leah Zabel having another solid performance. I think it's a big, just to keep playing that consummate team basketball. Extra effort plays such as that right there is a big key, and that's part of Maya Lloyd's game.
Without a doubt. Another double-double for Maya Lloyd on this day, hit 13th of the season. Emily Evers with a double-double on this game as well. I got a lot of people involved in this win.
It's one of those things. When you watch a team play like this and see that emotion out of our players, it's fun. It's exciting, and I'm proud of how these ladies have been playing. They've been responding well in practice all week.
Big rebounding edge for you in this game, 44-28. You also shot 53% from the field, 96-82 the final, and look at that balance when it comes to scoring there.
If I could have it that way every night, I'd take it.
I'm sure you would. Well, you go on the road now. You're bound for Weber State and Idaho State this coming Thursday and Saturday. Preview the weekend for us, Coach.
You know what? 2 scrappy teams defensively. Weber State gets up and down very, very well. Idaho State's going to try to control tempo a lot more, so it's 2 contrasting styles, but at the same time, there's some similarities just on the defensive end. It's not an easy road trip.
Yeah. Your team's in a good way right now, though.
Yep, we've been playing well. We've got to continue to do it.
All right, Coach, good luck on the road. We'll recap it next weekend here on UND Sports Extra. Men's basketball coach Brian Jones and women's hockey still to come here on UND Sports Extra.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
Over the weekend, Shelby Amsley-Benzie became the winningest goaltender in North Dakota women's hockey history. Greg Ankers has more.
Along with Erickson, Ilakinen, the trailer on the play, shot right on Benzie with a fine save.
Success between the pipes for the UND women's hockey program has steadily been on the rise since the program's inception. But junior netminder Shelby Amsley-Benzie is taking things to a whole new level.
Shelby's just playing with confidence, stopping the ones she's supposed to and a couple she's not. That's all you can ever ask from your goaltenders. And I think her confidence in herself is kind of radiating out through the club. They know if we do, make a mistake that she's going to bail us out a little bit. So she's playing well.
Amsley-Benzie's growth in net is easy to see by the numbers. This season, she's on pace to completely rewrite the record books with a goals against average under 1.5 and a save percentage close to 95%.
I feel like I'm just maturing more and I'm feeling more comfortable. We're playing well together as a team. I feel like me and the defense were meshing well. They know, give her the shot, or she'll get the rebound, we'll clear pucks. I just feel like I'm getting more comfortable the longer I've been here.
It's just like having another solid defender out there. Shelby's a great goalie, and as the year progresses, she always proves herself year after year. And being a senior, I'm sad to go, but seeing how well she's doing, I'm really happy for her. And I think that this year she's obviously one of our top players, and she will be for years to come.
The latest example of her excellence was on full display recently at Ohio State. The Warroad, Minnesota native posted back-to-back shutouts, stopping all 57 shots blasted her direction. It was enough to warrant WCHA Defensive Player of the Week honors, the first for Amsley-Benzie this season.
I was pretty proud of it, but it was really a team effort. I couldn't post the shutouts if the team wasn't there. We were blocking shots. We were just playing really good D-zone, so it's more of a team effort, I think.
When she plays like that, I think the team has a lot of confidence, and she puts confidence behind us. So we know when we have a solid goaltender in net, everyone else is doing their best to help her out. And I think those zeros on the scoreboard, those were not only big for her, but big for us as a club.
My goodness, Shelby Amsley-Benzie has been outstanding in the game.
This past weekend, Amsley-Benzie set a new career record for wins at UND in a sweep over Bemidji State. In addition, she's just 2 shutouts shy of that career record as well. But when it comes to each of those milestones, Amsley-Benzie appreciates the wins a bit more.
Amsley-Benzie with a squeeze on it.
I'd be more proud of the wins just because, you know, the shutouts is nice, but the team is important to me, and I know like right now especially like wins are important, and every year we've put ourselves in the situation towards the end of the season where it's kind of do or die for us, and so I feel like that's kind of been important to us right now is just winning.
Her attitude and stellar play will certainly keep UND's postseason aspirations holding strong as the team hits the stretch run of the regular season.
Amsley-Benzie has not given up more than 1 goal in each of her last 6 games, and head coach Brian Adolski will join us later.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
Welcome back. The UND men's basketball team, fresh off a trip out west, now home this week with games against Weber State and Idaho State. Head coach Brian Jones joins us after his team's win at Idaho last Thursday, a loss at Eastern Washington on Saturday. Overall, would you say about a game and a half of pretty good basketball by your team?
I really think so. That last 20 minutes at Eastern Washington, even the whole 21 minutes wasn't bad basketball. But I was really proud of our guys. Idaho got out to a slow start, but really competed on the defensive end. That's what got us the win. And that first half of at Eastern Washington was probably one of our better halves on top of Marquette on the season. So the growth is coming. The rebounding is starting to turn the corner. I think guys are really seeing fruition of things we've been working on, is just continuing to stay that course and continuing to work on things we need to get better at.
Well, and the win at Idaho was a win after 4 conference losses, so that in itself was positive.
It was. Honestly, the energy was good all week. The confidence, I thought our team had good swagger all week and still stayed the course and believe in what they could do. And that's, to me, that's where we're at. We got to continue to work and be positive and understand we're close. We're not like we're out of ball games. We got to know what it takes to win. I think that's what you're seeing even with this week's opponent in Weber State. They got a lot of new faces. They're still figuring it out. So it's not the teams that are successful right now in this league. They've been together 2 to 3 years, and that's what's paying dividends.
All right, let's take a look at some highlights. We start in Idaho last Thursday night, and Idaho jumps out to an 11-point lead, but a quick answer by your team here, which was probably very important.
It was, and it started on the defensive end. And again, we talked to Jerron. I thought he had a really good weekend, just being aggressive.
And Nash then driving the baseline, then you see him hit
That's
the
a bank, by the
long-range
way.
jumper.
I don't know if you can tell from the angle. He didn't call that, but it banked. We'll take it.
He'll still take it, right, exactly. Then DeRuin inside, and you're slicing into the deficit. And then Idaho will build its lead to 15. But then important run for you before the end of the half as you cut the deficit down to 7.
Well, it was. Again, we got some key stops. Big shot there by Eston. I thought he had a great weekend as well. But where we got going was the defensive end. And the second half, we got out to an 8-0 run right away.
Right away. And when you're making 10 of your first 12 field goals to begin the second half, that's not a bad thing either.
That helps. And it all, honestly, a lot of them, you can see they're all coming right at the rim. We're attacking. This is just, to me, that's winning basketball right there. Second effort and just competing.
Yeah. So you make 10 of your 12 first field goals, a 13-3 run to begin the half. Then you had another 7-0 run early in the second half. And, of course, Terrell DeRuin was a big part of it as Carson Shanks got in double digits. But DeRuin was really the difference here in the second half, scoring 15 of his 17 after the break.
Well, he was. He got in foul trouble early, but it was aggressive. He hit a huge 3. I don't know if it's on these highlights at the top of the key that kind of almost sealed the win for us. But when he's playing extremely well at both ends, he ignites us, and we need him to be on the floor because I think our guys take their cues from him. This is probably maybe the shot. I'm not sure. No,
he said after the game that at half in this game, he said a few guys said we're tired of losing. We're going to go out and win this game in the second half.
Yeah, and to me, that's where it starts. The guys believing in one another and talking and getting each other through, because that's where this team is. There's the big shot there, but that's where this team has to go. We have new faces, but it's still I think we've, as a staff, gotten them ready to play. It's still, there's got to be times where it's on them because it's them between the lines, and we can't be out there with them.
Idaho gets within 2 at that 3, but then DeRuin has a quick answer back again.
That was a big basket here. We just pushed it down the floor, and they just hit a big 3, had some rhythm going, and we got a big basket. Again, I thought our guys did a great job down the stretch where in the last 2 minutes of the game, where we've seen some tough basketball for us where we've come on the short end where our guys were able to finish this one.
Good balance, 4 players in double figures in this game.
And that's what we want. I think that's what makes us when we're playing our best basketball, when we've got multiple guys in double figures. Not big stats, but just balanced stats.
All right, before we take a look at the Eastern Washington highlights, this is a game in which, as you said, you played very well in the first half, had a 6-point lead at half, had your lead up to, 9 at one point in the first half against the first-place team in the Big Sky?
Yeah, I thought defensively we were outstanding, and offensively we shared the ball and did a great job of just making the extra pass and hitting open shots. The second half, we missed open shots. They made open shots, and give them a lot of credit because they're definitely because they play undersized. They basically play 5 guards. They spread you out and drive it, and they can really shoot the ball.
A couple of guys that were a challenge for you as we take a look here. One was a guy off the bench by the name of Bogdan Bliznuk. He had 25 points. Between he and Tyler Harvey, those were tough guys to defend.
He was. You can see right here. He's a foreign kid that's very talented, driving and shooting. It's like pick your poison. You try to take away the 3, then he drives you. You know, right there to me, we have to have better communication on that. There were some breakdowns there, and he had a huge game for them. And he's we know Tyler Harvey's going to get his, but him and the other guys probably not in here is their point guard, and Brandon, who's their X factor defensively. But Tyler Harvey, he's just a special talent.
Harvey's a scorer. He leads the nation in scoring, 24 a game. So you pushed them hard, but Eastern Washington wins 102-80 here to close out your road trip. Weber State coming into town on Thursday. They've lost 3 straight. Then you've got Idaho State on Saturday. I would imagine Weber's going to be a little bit angry when they come to the Betty Thursday night.
Yeah, that can be good or bad for us, but again, they're a lot like us, and we haven't beaten Weber since I've been here, so that's just a challenge for us, and we got to have a big weekend for us.
2 teams you have to beat if you want to get one of those 8 playoff spots.
I think so. I think it's a big weekend, so we got to just play quality basketball.
Yeah. All right. Good luck this weekend, Brian. We'll have Saturday's game for you live on Midco Sports Network. We'll recap the games next week with the coach here on the show, and we'll be back with more.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
The North Dakota women's hockey team continued its winning ways, picking up a key sweep of Bemidji State over the weekend. Head coach Brian Adolski joins us. Brian, big-time weekend for you. You leapfrog past Bemidji State and into 4th place. Top 4 teams at the end of the season get home ice. One of your better overall weekends of the season, would you say?
Yeah, I thought we executed both ends of the ice extremely well. I thought that we got contributions up and down the roster, and that's a recipe for success.
Yeah. What was the difference between these 2 games here in Grand Forks over the weekend and 2 games in Bemidji earlier in the season when they swept you?
I really felt like Bemidji played with the lead extremely well. Once they got the lead, they really put the clamps down on us. I thought we possessed the puck actually probably more than that weekend, but that just allowed them to defend better. We were a little more dump and chase than we prefer to be, but we counterattacked and tried to play good defensively, and it seemed to work for us.
Well, you scored 9 goals over the weekend in your 2 wins. Let's take a look at the highlights from Saturday afternoon. Second period, a real key part of the game here. Down 1-0. You're killing off a 5-minute Bemidji power play. Josephine Jakobsen will get the puck ahead to Amy Menke, and she is on her way for the shorthanded breakaway. And Menke, wow, what a shot there past Brittany Mowat, and it ties the game at 1. Later in the second period, you'll take your first lead against Bemidji State this season. Grayson Hershey with the steal right here, and you're going to transition well. Menke this time will go short side for the go-ahead and game-winning goal. It was 2-1 at the time. Big day, big weekend overall for Amy Menke. In the third period then, you continue to push. Just 1 minute and 4 seconds into the third period, you're going to take advantage of a Bemidji State turnover and expand your lead. This time it's going to be Andrea Dahlin feeding Josephine Jakobsen. She moves in to make it 3-1, and right now you got to be feeling pretty good about things with a 2-goal lead on Bemidji State, the way that Shelby Amsley-Benzie has been playing, and she was strong again on Saturday. She made 30 saves to pick up the win. She has given up 1 goal, no more than 1 goal in each of her last 6 games. Then close out the scoring in the third period. Becca Kohler, who is back in the lineup this weekend, feeding Megan Dufault. She makes it 4-1. And that's the way you open the series against Bemidji State on Saturday afternoon. Very impressive win. Then Sunday afternoon, you go for the sweep. First period, good puck movement here to Dolan, and she'll make it 1-0. How important was it to get up early and get a lead going here on Sunday, Brian?
Oh, it's huge. We talk about all the time. It forces them to play a 200-foot game and just not defend and wait for opportunities. When they have to push for offense, it opens up more things for us.
Yeah, and then in the second period, to build on the lead, Shannon Kaiser carries from the corner, and her spinning forehand beats Mowat, who would later be pulled in this hockey game. That made it 2-0. You go on to win 5-1 in this game, 4-1 and 5-1 wins over Bemidji State. Fast forward, next up, Duluth. And, of course, this will be another challenge for you on the road this weekend.
Yeah, Duluth just ahead of us in the standings by 7 points. So a sweep for us pulls us 1 point behind and in position to overtake them for third. So big weekend.
Are you playing better in front of Shelby Amsley-Benzie these days?
You know what? I really think team defense is really clamped down and played very solid in front of her. She's been great all year, and I think she's just seeing the benefit of us playing better as a club in front of her.
All right, Brian, good luck this weekend in Duluth, and we're back next here on UND Sports Extra.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
Coming up Saturday afternoon on Midco Sports Network, Big Sky men's basketball as North Dakota hosts Idaho State, 2 p.m. on Saturday. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for North Dakota hockey with Dave Haxtell.